Hello, everyone, and welcome to the live stream. Looks like I am live here on the YouTube channel, and I'll record this also for a kind of podcast sort of thing. So. All right, so let's take a minute to maybe play a little bit here and just do it like a real nice and easy that kind of groove here on Fly Me to the Moon. All right, so let's go on with that. Okay, so let's start out with kind of the topic of the day here, which is segmentation, which is just kind of a word that I brought up to describe what I'm going to talk about. It's not really a technical term or anything, but I want to just talk about taking sections of songs and working on them, and just working kind of around the neck. So that's falling under our practice ideas and concepts sort of show here for today. All right. So you could apply this to a lot of different activities when it comes to practice. You could work on an arrangement of a tune and work on a few measures to get that down, and then move on to another section so that you can play really strongly, section by section, and kind of work in an efficient way. And I talk to my students about this generally, which is to not necessarily go through a whole song or piece of music, or if you're improvising, a whole form. Of course, you want to do that at some point, but to work on certain problems or certain things that are more challenging for us in certain sections of a tune. So let's take, so for improvisation, it's really good to take maybe one chord change. Okay. So maybe you're working on playing and improvising on an A minor 7. Okay. Maybe trying to outline that chord sound. Okay. Okay, and then you're thinking about maybe going back and forth between those. Okay, and just really getting familiar with what it's like to go from that one chord to the next. And then you can kind of inch your way along. So your D minor 7 to G7, that's going to be a real common kind of change. So you might have already practiced that a lot. Okay, going to the G7. Okay. And then of course C major 7. So just kind of inching your way along, and then you could spend a good amount of time working on, let's say, any one of these. So I'm just gonna mark this off a bit so I can find that later. All right, so let's say we're working in this way on the tune, and we take let's say 2 measure segment here. So I'll take it maybe a little bit slower. And so let's say you're working on improvisation with this, and let's say you're setting out to work on outlining the chord changes, something like that. Okay, so you could set up a loop on anything that you have there, and then but this is sort of an example of that process here. So notice I'm going to move around the neck, or maybe spend a little bit of time working with certain segments of the guitar too. So Okay, so there's an example. Of course, we could take larger segments. You could keep going through the tune chord by chord. So maybe we'll go to the next chord group. So we have D minor, G7. Okay, so anyway, kind of get the idea of that. So you can just kind of inch your way along. Okay, so that's going to be a really strong thing, especially if you're feeling uncertain about a certain chord change. All right, now let's take a look at playing a little bit of a larger segment. So we'll do 4 bars here for a moment. Okay, so then you can work on different kind of sections. So I'll do a little, take a little break here and do a little bit of a segment for the tune. So maybe take a little higher tempo here and do a little kind of playing break here. And let me know if you have any questions on the live stream here, but I am recording this, so you can of course see the live stream later if you remember on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/reference, but also making this available and recording this for the podcast. So let's say you're having a particular section that you're wanting to work on. So let's say we have, let's say the bar is what, 5. So we land on this F major 7. So we can really think, okay, what happens in all these different movements here from F major 7 to the B minor 7 flat 5 to the E7 flat 9 to the A minor to the A7. So quite a lot of activity there. A lot of it kind of lays out pretty naturally, but let's take a look at the F to the B minor 7 flat 5. They seem pretty different, but if we compare a few chords, we have this. If we played an F6, and then we, so I'm here in 6th position, and then can take the root note, just going to replace it with the B. You can see that they're not really like worlds apart there. Okay. But they're kind of different enough that you probably want to spend some time just kind of working on maybe outlining the chord tones for B minor 7 flat 5 after the F major 7. So this is a spot where you might want to spend a little time playing through each one. So you could maybe find 4 notes for the F major 7 and then 4 notes for the B minor 7 flat 5. Okay, and then just kind of see if you can move around. Move around the neck and just kind of explore it and just sort of try to get the ear accustomed to it, trying to get the spots on the guitar to lay out nicely, right? So say, okay, set up a loop in time, or even without that, just kind of spend some time getting familiar. Also think about what's the same and what's different, right? So we have this F major 7 and B minor 7 flat 5, minor 7 flat 5. What do we have in common? We have F, we have A. Okay, now the C is not common, at least the chords, and no, this tone is not in common, but okay, back to the F again. So we have 2 tones that are shared by both. Let's listen to those. So we have, see, okay, so we have those 2. So that was F major 7. Let's listen to B minor 7 flat 5. So we have, okay, so we have those for the B minor 7 flat 5. So we have these, the F and the A again. Let's listen to those. That chord. So listen back to the F major 7. Okay, so those are in common. So these other tones, you might even take a look at how they sound. So we have C and E. Now C is going to sound pretty out on the B minor 7 flat 5. Okay, that's pretty dissonant, right? The E, that will fit pretty nicely. It's not a chord tone, but it's gonna fit pretty nicely. So likewise on the B minor 7 flat 5, the B and the D are chord tones for the B minor 7 flat 5. So let's kind of investigate how they sound on the F major 7. So it's pretty different. Dissonant, it's the sharp 11 there, that's the B. And then we have the D, which is the 6, which sounds fairly neutral. Oh no, but it's not a chord tone. All right, so then you can spend some time either, looping it or just kind of working through it, on your own, moving that around. All right, so let's do a little more playing, a little more play of a playing break here, and then we'll call it a day for today. But the big takeaway here today is to practice in segments rather than practicing okay, so we'll do a little bit of playing through the form here of the tune, and so that goal here is to for this video is to in general practice in sections or segments, and then of course spend time putting it all together. So we're not going to either extreme in a whole sense, but in a moment in time, you can take a moment to practice sections, kind of place them all together. All right, so I'll do a little playing here. All right, everybody. Thanks again for checking out this video, and thanks for being a member here for checking out the video. And let me know if you have any questions or anything you'd like me to cover. Spending time working through Fly Me to the Moon here, and I've got some plans to change up some of the feels and things like that as we go through. But everybody, thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one.